So you'll hear me talk a lot about detoxification because we live in a very toxic world, because I think there's a lot of misconception around what detoxification is, and because it's kind of a complicated process, but it's also something that we can dig in and really see what's happening. So a lot of people think detox, thanks to marketing today, right? They think it's a tea or it's a juice. It's something that you take. Oh, I'm doing a detox and, I'm going to able to detoxify well after this. Nah, it's not that it's not good to have a juice or a tea or cleanse. That can be fine. But if you're not looking into each pathway and really seeing what's happening, you don't know what's going on unless you test. I always say test, don't guess, right? And it's very, very common for poor detoxification to be at the root of chronic symptoms. It's almost always at play. I always say it's usually more than one. Like if you have a chronic symptom, it's usually more than one thing causing it, but almost always it's poor detoxification because we're bombarded. Like if you think for a second, just think about your process throughout the day and how many times you're coming into contact with a toxin. It's insane. It's insane from the food you eat, from what you breathe, from what you're putting on your skin, right? Your skin is your body's biggest organ, and anything that's going on your skin is going in your body, right? And so your body has an amazing way of trying to keep you healthy, right? So if that toxin, when that toxin comes into your body, it goes through a series of things to try to get it broken down so it can safely leave your body. And it does this in 3 phases. It's called phase 1 detox, phase 2 detox, phase 3 detox, right? So phase 1, when that toxin first comes into your body uses something called CYP enzymes. And everything that it's doing to detoxify, it's trying to break these toxins down and to make them water soluble or fat soluble so that it can safely leave your body, right? And so if it's water soluble, then it's going out through your kidneys, obviously, through your urine. And if it's fat soluble, then it can get it in your bile and goes out through your stool, right? And if your body has any problems doing that, getting those broken down into fat or water soluble, then it's pushing it out through your skin, right? Because it's just trying to get it out, and it gets so backed up. And so this is where you're seeing a lot of things like acne, eczema, psoriasis, right? Any skin issue can be because your body's trying to get toxins out because your detox pathways aren't working well. Another thing it could do is stick it in a fat cell, because then that is contained, right? And then it's keeping you safe. So a lot of people, if they're struggling with weight loss and they're doing all the things, right? You're exercising, you're eating what you think is healthy, you're doing everything you can, and that weight isn't coming off. One possible cause is, again, poor detoxification, because your body's just trying to keep you safe. And so once you get those detox pathways opened up, the weight will begin to fall off when your body recognizes that it's safe. We're made so incredibly, and everything it's doing so intelligently just to keep you safe. And a lot of times those are symptoms and those are things we don't like, but it's really just your body doing what it was designed to do, which is keep you healthy. So once you get a toxin in and your body's using these CYP enzymes, it will go through phase 1, and sometimes the toxins then are safe to exit your body. Most of the time, though, they're more reactive than when you first got them. So once they get through phase 1, they become more reactive, right? And if your phase 2 isn't functioning well, where it can smoothly transition, then you're going to get a lot sicker. That's where a lot of oxidative stress comes in. This is, you get a lot more symptoms because those toxins are just recirculating, and they're not just recirculating as they came in, but now they're even more toxic, right? And so it's really important to make sure that your phase 2 is working well. And phase 2 has a lot of different pathways, right? It's got glucuronidation. It's where it adds a glucuronic acid. It's got glutamine conjugation. It's got methylation. I know I talk a lot about methylation. I know I have other videos about methylation. Amino acid conjugation, acetylation, sulfation, and sulfoxidation, right? So this is your body doing something, right, to try to break those toxins down through any of these pathways. It depends on the toxin that it is. Like hormones go through different ones and that kind of thing. But the labs that I order, there are blood markers, there are lab markers, there are things that I can look at. We put that together with symptoms, and we can see exactly where your body needs support in your phase 2. So really critical. And then phase 3, obviously, is then, now that everything is broken down as it should be, so it can either get out through your kidneys or get out through your stool. And so When people first come on and I order those labs, the first thing, like, it's important to work backwards with detoxification pathways, because the most important thing right away, you want to make sure you're eliminating, right? Because if you're constipated, if you don't have good motility, it's just sitting in your colon, and then it will actually, those toxins again will recirculate and you can get a lot sicker. So we start with that. Make sure you are eliminating, make sure you're well hydrated. The blood work will show how your kidneys are doing, so we can kind of see if you need some help with your kidneys. And then we'll go back and we'll work backwards into phase 2 and make sure all of those pathways are really good. Homocysteine is a really good marker here, so I can see how methylation is working. Genetics show us a lot. Organic acids will show us some here, so we know exactly where you need support. And then phase 1, because we don't want phase 1 to be working really well and phase 2 not, right? Because then you're getting more reactive toxins. So yeah, so that is just an overview. I know it's a lot. Maybe I will do some videos later on just each of those phase 2 pathways, because it's really fascinating. But when you hear somebody talk about a detox cleanse or a detox tea, just know that is not enough. You need, if you're having chronic symptoms, it's really beneficial. Even if you're not, like, we live in a toxic world, it's good to know how you're detoxifying so that maybe you can keep symptoms from popping up in the first place.